What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Damon from After Hours, and today I got a special unboxing for you guys. This is the TandyPro Variable Speed Burnisher. So Tandy reached out and asked me if I would review this machine for them and tell you guys how I like it or some feedback on the machine. And so that's what we're about to do today. We're about to unbox it. So I'm really excited to give that a shot. And this is, you know, a new step for me, because it's kind of like when I went from hand sewing to using the sewing machine more. And so now I've also been doing burnishing by hand and sanding by hand. And so I'm excited to use this machine and kind of see how that translates. And then also, you know, that finished effect. I'm really excited to learn about that. So right now we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna start unboxing these right here. And one thing that I like to do, you know, is I like to try to stay as live as possible and to just let the camera roll so you can get, you know, the live situation. And so that's what we're gonna try to do right here. And so, you know, when you work with Tandy, it wasn't that, hey, it's like, hey, we're gonna push this machine and I want you to just look at the machine that we're trying to push. It was kind of like, hey, let's talk about what machine would you really be using. And I really like that, and that's one reason why doing this type of sponsored post, I feel like is a good match. It's when it's authentic, because I feel like that's what I really value in my brand. And so that's what I hope I can bring you guys through these reviews as well. Okay, so the first piece we got here is the stand. Put this down. All right. So the stand looks good. It looks like I'm holding it. I'm not sure if that's upside down or the right way. So we're gonna figure out what all of this means. But this is the stand. It looks pretty sturdy, and it's a heavy duty. All right. So it looks like we got the base right here, and so I was actually holding that the wrong way. This is the base. So that's it for this box. And so it's actually funny because it came in 2 boxes, and so I got one thinking that was everything. But little did I know that the next day another box was gonna come. So that's the cool part about this. I actually came in 2 boxes. Got to be surprised twice. I saw that it comes with a wrench. You know, so coming with the wrench, that's always good. 2 wrenches actually. You know, you like to know that when you get something, you can have some of those tools there. Oh my gosh, this thing is beautiful, guys. It's better than I could imagine. Oh, look at that. Oh man, this thing feels heavy duty. This thing feels awesome. Feels super powerful just already, because you can tell this motor is ready to go. So let me just do the specs real quick. 3/4 horsepower motor, so not a full horse, but almost a full horsepower on this motor. Variable speed from 2,000 to 3,450 rotations per minute. It's a reversible motor, and then there's a 3-year warranty on the motor. And this was shipped with the enhanced stand and the Cocobolo wheel, and then 80 and 120 grit sanding sleeves, and then 2 wrenches for changing out the sleeves. So, okay, I see what we got, the different sanding wheels right here. So we got those 2. This is nice. You know how you get some burnishers, you know, like that wooden one that has the pointy end that everyone has? When you first get that wood is super rough, and it takes a while of doing multiple projects before you really get that thing smooth. But this thing is super smooth. Cocobolo. So I'm gonna have this thing put together fast. So let's work on it. And I will take some footage of that, and we'll keep this thing going. All right, so I got the stand upside down, and I am putting in these screws right here. You just got to get it lined up a little bit. So I got a 1/2 inch wrench right here. We're gonna go ahead and just use this to tighten these down. Alright. So, we got it here. So screw, kind of like a pressure washer, and then the actual washer. Pretty easy. Second one tight. Double bolts. Alright. Let's take this off right here. Alright, got that loose. Because I have a feeling I'm going to want the smaller ones on the outside. Man versus machine. How about that? There we go. About to get this thing going right now. We are going to try out the burnishing machine. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this card wallet. We won't do the, let's do it kind of near the slower portion. And let's get this thing going forward. Because it's going away from you, so it's a little bit easier to control because it's wants to take you this way and you're holding it steady. Alright, it's pretty nice, and that curve this is what I'm really judging it by, that curve, and it looks really smooth. And now I'm ready to put some Cocobolo on here, and I'm going to use the burnishing side. Be right back. Get a nice burnish on there. Wipe off that excess Cocobolo. I think that we have a winner here. Now we're gonna do part 2. I like it starting at the top right there and running it lengthwise. Require that same amount of effort, but man, that 3/4 horsepower is just, I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh my gosh, it's pretty game changing, to be honest. I got card right here. I put the front and back on, got it stamped and everything. We're gonna sand the edges, and I like to sand right before I sew, so I'm gonna sand it, sew it, and then we're gonna take those last couple steps there. So let's go ahead and sand this baby. Throw it in the reverse again. I like to start at that corner is what I found. Wow. Just get that little piece right there. Perfect. Time to go sew it up. Alright, so now I got it all stitched together, and I used the beveler to bevel the edges. So now we're going to sand it down. Throw it into reverse. So now we are ready to burnish. This is definitely a game changer. Excellent. Wow. What's going on, guys? So by now you've seen me use the new TandyPro Variable Burnisher. Overall, I really like it. I think it's kind of like I said earlier, you know, moving from hand sewing to moving to a sewing machine, and then from hand sanding and burnishing to using a this burnisher and sander right here, and it has 3/4 horsepower, so it has a real nice kick to it, and I barely had it turned up, so I think there is still another level that we could take it to. But what I did is I like to put things into context, and so let me get the lighting right on this. So what I did is I wanted to make something that I would be selling in the store, and I'm telling you, it was working so well that I was almost waiting, that I was feeling like I should be doing more work, because I'm just so used to like almost breaking a sweat that you're really getting in there sanding, and especially if you have a small batch going and then burnishing. This thing turned out really well. All the sanding and burnishing on here was done by the TandyPro Variable Burnisher. And all I really did extra was just come in with the canvas cloth, but it wasn't anything serious. It was more just like wiping off the extra Cocobolo and me kind of examining it. And I guess just one last thing before we go, one way to look at a lot of these different tools and you know, ways you can invest into your leather craft, how should you look at it? And something like this, I feel like over time, a lot of these things will pay for themselves. And it's almost like about how you look at yourself and the craft that you're working on. Is it just for fun? If it's just for fun and maybe you make a couple things a year, you know, I would stick with the hand sanding and burnishing. But you know, if, say for this Christmas coming up, you want to make your family a batch of belts, this might be a good investment. Because if you think about it, you're making people 10 belts times whatever amount, that's a good amount of money that it would cost to buy all those belts retail. And so instead of, you know, putting that money into the retail, you can put it into yourself and make a bet on yourself and invest into your own craft. And now you'll always have this piece of machinery in your shop where you can, you know, go in and knock out a batch of something. If you want to make gifts for the office, gifts for the family, but no, this doesn't even include selling. So that's just my thought process on adding pieces to the workshop. But I'm so happy to have this in the shop now. Thank you, Tandy. And the new After Hours card holder, I'm gonna put this on the After Hours website so you guys can check it out there, and on Instagram. So all right, guys, check it out. Damon from After Hours. Peace.